So Terminator Dark Fate, or Terminator 6, or even Terminator 3, whatever you want to call it, came out in cinemas in Ireland back on Wednesday, and I really wanted to talk about this movie. I went to see it opening day. I went to go see this in the IMAX with a big popcorn drink. I was extremely excited for this movie. So let's actually talk about it. So Terminator Dark Fate has James Cameron coming back to produce. He's back for the first time since Terminator 2, I think. We got Tim Miller, director from the first Deadpool movie, directing this movie. Linda Hamilton has come back for the first time. I think she's got a voiceover in Terminator 4, where she's back time for the first time in the flesh since Terminator 2, and Arnold has come back for this one again. So a lot of this movie, it is stacking up to be one of the best movies of the year. The way it's setting up, it's meant to be a great movie. The trailers were mixed, but other than that, I was extremely excited for this movie. And when I left the cinema, I was not disappointed. I actually left this movie very satisfied. I enjoyed it. It was very action-packed. There was parts of the movie that I thought were okay, but overall, I really did enjoy this movie when I left the cinema. Now, Terminator Dark Fate, the biggest thing that shows about this movie is the major disappointments with the Terminator 3, 4, and 5. The biggest thing about it was Linda Hamilton wasn't there. You can tell by just watching this movie alone that she is such an important part of what made Terminator 1 and 2 so good and so iconic. That having her back in this movie has made it like 10 times better. She was by far my best performance in the movie. She was the best part of it about the movie. Every time she was on screen, I just enjoyed this movie a lot more, just because she was such a good character in this movie. Because I love Sarah Connor, especially in the second one. She's such a great character. So to see her come back and see her in this stage of her life, I just really enjoyed getting to see. And of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger comes back, and he's probably as funny as he's ever actually been in this Terminator franchise, because he's absolutely hilarious. Like, every second line he says, especially when he first gets introduced in this movie, is absolutely hilarious. He actually kind of had me laughing out loud a few times, especially the guy behind me in the cinema. He was like eating up everything he said. He was just bursting out laughing, and that his laughter kind of made me laugh even more. Like, Arnold, he is an older Terminator. My thing is, I don't remember, can Terminators grow beards? I thought it was a bit. I know they can, but can the T800s, can they do? I know the later models can, but I didn't know Arnold's model can, so I thought that was a bit odd. But as well, just to seeing as the Terminator as an older model, it was weird as well, just to see like, why are these Terminators growing old at the same rate as they should be, but it's still just to see Arnold back in this movie. It's just great. And our newest additions to this franchise, we got Natalie Reyes, who plays our she's a new kind of Sarah Connor. She's a younger version, the one that everyone is trying to protect. She's that new character. She does well. She doesn't like stand out as well, because she's up against Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton, so it's kind of hard to be up against them. But what she does, it's good. I enjoyed seeing her character on screen. As well, we got this other woman who's come back from the future to help her. Mackenzie Davis, I think her name was. Her character is very unique, and it's very interesting to see just kind of get developed a lot more into this character and see what she's made of and see everything about her. That kind of stuff I liked. But other than that, I thought she was kind of one note. She didn't really have a lot to do. But like, because all the stuff that was kind of epic kind of went more towards Arnold and Linda Hamilton. So she had stuff to do, but not really a massive amount for what she was capable of. And our new Terminator, even though he looked awesome and all his powers he was able to do were pretty awesome, I just thought he was kind of generic and he was just boring. He didn't really do much. I thought like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the first one, extremely intimidating. I don't know, the T-1000 in Terminator 2, extremely intimidating. Now this one, he should be really intimidating, but I'm just saying, I'm like, I don't care. He's not intimidating. I think they should have maybe chose a better actor, more intimidating actor, because this guy just looks like your dad or your uncle. He doesn't really look that intimidating, so I didn't really feel intimidated. But when you watch the first two, you feel very intimidated by the Terminators are coming after our characters. But in this one, his powers are cool, but that's as far as it goes. He just doesn't really have anything else there for me. The opening scene for this movie was surprising, but it also wasn't surprising, because I knew the opening scene. I knew that was going to happen in this movie, but I didn't know it was going to play out the way it did. So it was surprising that it happened the way it did, but I also knew it was going to happen. So to see it the way it happened, I was glad we got to see it the way it happened, because it was a lot more enjoyable that way rather than seeing it a different way. Than I don't know how I was predicting this was going to happen, but the way we got it, I thought was a lot better than how we actually got. But it does kind of just, it's everything that happened in Terminator 2 is kind of like, fuck it, we're going to pretend the best movie we've ever done this franchise didn't happen. Just kind of throwaway scene at the start, so I was kind of disappointed by that end of it. But as well, this movie, even though as I said, it was surprising, but it also wasn't surprising to the scene, this movie is extremely predictable. Like, from that opening scene, I could kind of pinpoint exactly what was going to happen throughout this movie. I didn't know how they're going to get to certain locations, but I knew exactly how, like, especially in the trailers don't give a massive amount away. But just watching the first scene, I was able to take the trailer scenes out of my mind and put it exactly where these are going to happen in the movie. So I knew, like, who was going to survive, who was going to die. I knew all that. I knew it was so predictable. There was nothing that nothing that really stood out to me that made me like, oh, I was so surprised, because, like, it's a Terminator movie. We're the sixth one in the franchise. Some of the stuff is going to get very repetitive, and I just didn't feel like this movie was completely fresh, and I didn't really see the purpose of making this movie, because even though Terminator 1 and 2 are classics, the other ones haven't really been. There's good elements to them, but overall they're not really massively well received. And this movie, I did enjoy it, but overall I don't really see the purpose of having this movie. I think they should have kind of left it Terminator 2 years ago, because this movie, it does have good elements. It's good to see Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger back, but it just doesn't really give anything new. So that's my review of Terminator Dark Fate. I'm going to rewatch Terminator Salvation and Genesis, because I haven't actually watched them since like 2015. So I want to rewatch those two, and then I can actually maybe possibly do a ranking of all 6 movies, because I do want to talk about the Terminator franchise a bit more, especially 1 and 2, because I absolutely adore those movies. So if I get around to watching those two within the next week, I will put out a ranking of all 6 of these movies. So if you want to see that, click subscribe so you can see it and stay tuned to it. As well, I got other rankings and movie reviews just like this one, so click subscribe so you can see that stuff. And as always, thanks for watching.